Philco repair number 2, taking apart the cabinet. Good afternoon, YouTube. Here with you on a Tuesday now. Back on the Philco 46350-122 radio. And I am going by that number instead of this number here because the chassis is what I'm working on. The case is it's just kind of incidental, but that's what this case is from, is this number here. But the actual radio is the other one. So now I told you that I was going to get that one thing out first, the E-cap, the main E-cap, filter cap, whatever you want to call it. But I have decided to go ahead and repair this first, mainly because the glue needs to be setting and things like that. Now here's the piece I got out. It didn't come out in exactly one piece, but it is enough together to where I can make a new one. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. And the other one is actually a little loose at the top. I tried to tighten it, but I don't think that screw is holding very good. So what I'm going to do is put some wood glue down that hole, screw it back in, and hopefully that will hold it in solid. And this one, like I say, I'm going to make a new piece. Exactly like this one, and put this in once I clean all this out. I've got most of it out. Let me take you in for a little closer look here, if I can. I never can work this zoom on this, but there we go. You can see there it's you know, it's not real bad there, but there are some ridges, places that would separated, and I'd like to get that as flat as possible. It needs to be flat like that right there, but if it's not, I'll get it as close as I can. It's not going to be a big deal. The amount that's going to be out is probably not going to be that much. Now this thing has 3 screws in it. One goes in here sideways like that, and then there are 2 that go in from the top like this, and once that's in there, I think it was glued in too, you know, obviously. So probably exactly what I'll do to put it back. But like I said, I have everything here to get the measurements for the new one, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, is get that cleaned out. And I'll probably end up taking some sandpaper and going down as close as I can get to, like I said, this board here. Another thing that's kind of come to my attention as a result of that, excuse me, this faceplate, dial plate, whatever you want to call this, here is being held in by these little Phillips screws here and metal pieces on each side. I may take that out, and especially when I redo the cabinet, and get that out, clean it really good. And so that'll be another thing I can do. Cabinet's not really in that bad a shape. It may look kind of bad, but it's not really that bad. My estimation anyway. So I think it should work out really nice. It's still solid, so that's good. All right, let me get some more of this off, and I'll bring you back and show you what I've come up with. So we'll be back. Alright, back once more. I have, it's now 1:35 in the afternoon. You can see I have this just about, it's nice and flat now. I take some sandpaper, and I've got a couple of edges like right here, and that's about it really. The rest of it's just as flat as can be, and that will do that just fine. And I can make my block now and put that back in and glue it in. I'm thinking, seriously thinking about taking this case apart a little bit more. If you can see here, there's a screw there, a screw here, and there's one behind here. It's hard to see, but I think that will allow it the insert on here, or on here I should say. This part, well, not this part, this is a roll thing. But this this here to come out, I think. I'm not really sure. I think that lets that come out. Now this is loose here. You can see I can push in and out. So that part is easy. It should be easy enough to get out. In fact, it looks like it's split over here. You can see up here. And that really needs to be fixed. So I think what I will do, and it's down here. Well, I don't know if that's a split. Yeah, that's a split there. Now this is where it actually separates, I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe that may be a split too, come to think of it. It looks like it. Yeah, I think it is. You can see this down here. So, a couple spots that really need to be fixed. I think, like I said, this louvered part here comes out, I believe. I can't be doubly sure, but I'm pretty sure it comes out. And I want to get this apart anyway to clean all these tracks out for the roll top and get the roll top itself fixed. So, you know, I may be disassembling this further along than I thought. Let me get. So that may be the situation I'm in. Like I said, there's several cracks here and there on the. You can see one up here. There, it looks like a crack. So I'd like to get this apart and re-glued as best I can. Like I said, that would also allow me to really get this smoothed out. It's smooth enough right now where it would work just fine. But I'm seeing these things here. There's a screw right here, I think. Screw right here, and I think that takes that out. Now there's that crack. You can see that. I thought this was just made this way, but it may be a crack going along through there. You can actually see daylight through there. But which way it is, I think I'm going to try to get that piece out, and I think it would be a lot easier to work on. And I kind of wanted to get this out up here anyway, because like I said, I put that screw back in, but it's not, you can see it wiggle. It moves back and forth, so that's not exactly good. So the screws for the holds this in is underneath this wood piece. So I'd need to get that out anyway to get those screws out. So that's what I may do. Well, this crack here does not make sense. It looks to me like a cut line. I mean, it's like two different pieces of wood here, and you can even feel you can move it in and out. It's like it's made that way. So I don't know. But it's obviously not straight, so it's kind of weird. So let me work on it a little bit more, and then I'll bring you back and we'll see what we come up with. Alright, back once more. I have the you can see I have a little bit of the cabinet disassembled, I should say. I was able to get some screws out and get it apart, and like I said, this came apart pretty easy. The hardest part was getting this antenna off, and I did not realize it at the time last night when I was looking at it, but there's where our wires connect to. Circuit board screws into the, or not circuit board, but the terminal strip screws into the side there, and they solder in here. So that's exactly where those go. So that's good. Happy about that. At least we know where that's at now. I don't think there's going to be any problem. Now, I don't know how well you can notice this, but this does go downhill. And that's just where it was split at. I don't know. Obviously, it's got something to do with this, I think, because this must be lower than this side. That's the only thing I can tell, because here's your piece for that. So let me look at the front. Well, it looks like it is the same on both sides as far as this is concerned, but that part did not come out. What I'm going to do is try to take this out carefully, obviously, and see if I can glue that back together. And doesn't seem to be wanting to come apart from the rest of it. but you know, it may give in. You never can tell. So this is this part of it. Certain parts came off. Now this on this railing here did not come off on this side, but it did on the other side. As you can see, I think you can see, yeah, it's off of here. So that's that. It's not a big deal. The antenna stayed. It was, you know, hard to get the antenna off, but it did stay intact. The wires did not get broke, so that's good also. Everything looks like it. Like I say, if I could just get this piece off here, down here, I think I'll have it made as far as getting everything off I wanted to get off. And so that's all I'm going to do on that. The rest of it's going to stay together, and it will get cleaned, the alligator part, and glued if necessary, wherever it needs to be glued at. So that's that part. Now let me take a look at the other part, if we can, without destroying this. It's actually pretty solid. I was surprised just how solid it is. Now here's our other part, and you can see here that part came off with that. And this was pretty much a part anyway. I took off a couple screws, but the glue had just about all let go anyway. So it's really not a problem. And like I said, this will allow me to get this other part done, which is here. We can see now how that can be sanded down pretty good. And this one here, now I'm not going to sand this one because this is an exact. In other words, when I put that back in, it'll be exact as far as, you know, all I have to do is basically screw it together. What I'll probably do is fill the holes with glue and then screw the screws together and clamp it. Or maybe just clamp it and without the screws and then see how that goes. But anyway, we'll get that together. It's not a big deal. But it came apart pretty easy. And this will allow me to get this wood cleaned up. Now this not so much on the back I'm worried about, but this on the front. This here is loose. I will probably take that apart and get that re-glued, if it will come apart. Pretty sure it will. But everything else is going to work out just fine. I have confidence in my ability to get it all glued back together and looking good. Like I said, this way I can refinish all this and get it back in a nice condition. I got to get some stripper. I'm going to ask Gary, see what he uses on the stuff. I think it's an orange smelling type stuff that he uses. It seems to work pretty good for him. Gary, I know you're watching this because you're upset because I didn't do your Philco. I know. The thing is, Gary, your radios that you've given me are all in such good shape that, you know, there's no challenge to them. I mean, it's I'm not saying that I don't like them. I do, but like the Transoceanic, it may be a recap. I guess it could use or something like that, but. The Philco console, it's in nice shape. You even told me that it had been refinished, and I think you told me the radio had been redone, so it's probably something really minor on it. So now this is a challenge. You know, Bill's going to find something that's not exactly conducive to easy work. So, but. I'm happy the way it's went. I think this decal can be replaced. I'm pretty sure of that, if need be. But like I said, I would like to get the stripper and get the finish off of that, and let that be doing while the rest of it's being repaired. I didn't really mean to get this far with all this, but it kind of went like this, and I was, you know, not really ready for. I'm trying to keep all the parts together. This one here is this one stayed on here, and this one came off, So as long as it stays there, I guess it'd be alright. I'm going to put all those little parts in the bag, and we'll have those. So my next challenge, like I said, is to get that piece off the bottom and this piece off the back that moves. And that's going to do me for today. I will probably in the next video I'll show you how that turned out, but there's really nothing to show on that because it's just a matter of working that a little bit. I'm sure that's it's almost ready to fall off now, so it won't take much to get that off. And that bottom piece, probably the same thing on the bottom piece. So alright, I'm going to stop here and get this video uploaded for tomorrow. And wish you guys a happy day. And I really appreciate you watching. And we will see ya.